What is up, ladies and gentlemen of the YouTubeverse? I am just here chilling, looking at my favorite corner at my favorite time of the evening. As I sit here looking at this little hammock with the leaves and the other floating plants all around. It's one of my favorite spots because it's the favorite spots for the fish that kind of hang around too. As I sit here all calm and chilled, we'll start to see them coming out more. Yep, there, and they'll start kind of being silly and resting on the leaves and stuff. It's just such a cool viewage, man, when everything's natural. And I've had people say check your nitrites, and everything like that. And I have, and I've done a video showing it when the tank looked just like this. Oh, Marky, you're about to see my reflection. Hey, hey, hey. Hi. How you doing? And I don't have any of the lights on, so that's why it's like that. Usually, if you do want a very good sort of lighting thing, you do a backlighting in a dark room and everything. And the leaves and stuff, that's a leaf of a fern floating around and everything, man. Very natural setting that's going on here. There is no filter, sponge filter of any kind. I use the plants. The bubbles are produced by two small air stones connected to a single top fin sort of air compressor thing that makes the bubblers work and so on. But that provides extra oxygen to make sure my fish are doing good. Those extra shadows you saw on the bottom left-hand cornerish of bits were my neon tetras. Right there, that is my big old buddy. He is a huge old finned sort of guppy dude. And then this is what happens, man. This is why I like this hammock. Look at that corridor. Oh, that's a coolie loach. That's a rare sighting. Yeah, man, but see, this is what natural tanks, their beauty comes from. It's not by how clear the water is. It's by how active the animals are. And how good the plants love to react to everything, you know? Nature is amazing, and we have to respect it for what it is. And nature's not going to be crystal clear waters. So don't worry if your water's not always clear. Don't worry if you got algae. Just take it one step at a time and take care of it. If you have algae, take of it as a positive lining where, that means your tank is healthy. Algae, though it's not fun to look at, it's still a plant. It's still a living organism. And the fact that it's photosynthesizing and living in your waters means you have healthy waters. So, don't worry too much, and clear crystal waters is not only the only way to go when it comes to tanks. This is a dirty tank from a hippie and everything. But looking at the view and how it yeah. I mean, it's pretty darn pretty. Well, that's a lot of glare right there. So, y'all just see me in my PJs and everything. I like me in my Marios. But here's what we do to change up the lighting. If you want to see more of things, got a little side lamp. And what I'll do here is this. Shake that out, shake it out. Do a little shaky shake. And then I'll put that in the back side. And then I do love this natural lighting at this time of day. It does work very well. So, now I turn on. Where's the other light? I am so good at finding switches. Here it is. Haha. And that is the trick. Now what that does is that puts a backlighting on the thing and cuts the reflections out from the front. Also while illuminating things. And by taking the lid off, the top lighting comes in. And we can now see the other creatures and how they're doing and everything. There are not too many. I am about to be adding another betta fish. He was sick, and he was left in a tank, and he made a little bubble nest and everything. The guy is acclimated to being in larger tanks, so he's going to be coming in here because this tank is just a little bit larger than the one he is at the store that I work at and everything. Right there, that is an albino Corridora. I know I've talked about this tank a lot and shown you guys a lot of things, but this is when they're kind of active at this time of the evening. It's rare for me to be home to show you guys what they do. That's a panda Corridora. Those guys are so silly. Just Corridoras in general, man. Corridors come from the Amazon rivers, where they are normally that kind of green emerald color. And in that, they mass up in huge schools and to such a degree that it looks like the bottom of the riverbed is actually moving. But in reality, it's just a lot of little Corridora catfishes banding together. When you share rivers with very predatory creatures in the Amazon, it's best to make yourself look as big and confusing as possible by schooling up. Very much like Wishy-Washy from Pokemon. Pokemon reference. What do y'all know about that? Probably more than I think you would. Usually people who are animal fans are also Pokemon fans. And that's just crazy that, with all that stuff, how that go. Because I've heard people say, well, if you like Pokemon, you're an animal abuser. Alright, PETA. You gotta take the weirdness out of the context, man. I've always loved, Pokemon and stuff. Always loved animals way before Pokemon. I love how they're referencing stuff and whatnot. I never would have learned what the pangolin was if I didn't wind up having my favorite Pokemon being Sandslash and started researching who or what the heck kind of a creature he come from, Or it come from, because Sandslash is a 50-50 male-female ratio, I'm pretty sure. And then, this is the tank. This is the fun stuff. These are the silly guys. Obviously, a silly dude like me is the one who keeps a tank like this. And even my own mother comes by and she sees this tank, she gives me a look like, this is your tank? Kind of a deal, but yeah, this is my tank, and it's super duper cool. And I have no worries. The dirt and stuff as it starts to clear will settle. I've said this story many times, but the reason why the tank kind of looked like this while you have so much of this floating sediment and stuff is because I did have it layered bottom sediment, soil, top sediment, sand. You can see it did try to do that, but with so many different species of creatures that have been here and churned the sand and the dirt together, now you have a bunch of that dirt seeping out into the topsoil. I'm trying to offset it with a bunch of moss and do stuff naturally, and in doing so, I wound up having a bunch of happy little creatures hanging around, chilling like villains, Everyone's having fun, everyone's doing good. I'm very happy. That's a yo-yo loach. Those are my yo-yo loaches. They're big old dudes. They were put in there to try to eat the snails, but they just enjoy living life and being silly, so they don't even really eat the snails. They just wait for food time. And the shrimp squad. Those ghost shrimps are doing good. And I say shrimp in silliness. It is shrimp. But, tomato, tomato. And if you can't see him, that's this guy right there, where I put my finger for a second. You can see the eyes. That is most likely a female. Females are larger with larger abdomens. And as I am close like this, you can see the sediment floating around, man. That's crazy. That is how thick this stuff is. But in nature, literally, this is what it's like. Amazon River be like this. I've seen the videos for it. That's why the corridors look like they are one big blob of the bottom. And the neon touchers are doing great in here, too. The one who I was worried about were my neons, but they're just digging this, man. They don't even care. They going hard through life, just swimming in a school of 6. I might be adding some more. I don't know. Not them. But the one more I am, that's what I said the might be, is going to be the betta fish, is the one more. After that, I'm not really touching out too much more on this, man. It's just, I don't want to offset the parameters too bad. And I only take in to rescue or take care of, and that betta fish has been in a back tank, and he is definitely a rescue in the long run. I will have to pay for him. We're not adopting him out. But you know what? That's okay. And he is a large fin betta, so he will benefit greatly from the hammock and all the resting floating plants. He's not going to have to work hard because I don't use a filter. He'll be able to swim the best he can and rest where he can. And that's the big thing. Big fins on betta fish make it very hard for them to swim. So this is a bunch of random facts put together about fish tanks and stuff, using my fish tank as an example. And as I've said at different times, different places, my way is not the only way, and is certainly not probably the best way. but darn it if my fish are not happy. And that is what's important. So anywho, thank you guys so much. Y'all have been a wonderful, wonderful audience. All of your subscriptions, likes, and everything have been absolutely appreciated. And your comments too, man. I love hearing from you guys. It's amazing what you guys have to say. Some of your questions you ask, you're very astute out there, man. I love to say I do not have some ding-dongs or some bozos out there as my audiences. I think if y'all are some intelligent, nature-loving peoples. And with that, all you intelligent nature-lovers peoples of the YouTuberverse, thank you so much. Y'all have a good one. Peace out.